Huh. Yeah. Baby, take me away.
Yeah. We're back on.
Yes.
Another drink with a smile and a wave. She said, take me away, man. Oh, I don't wanna think. Play a song that we can sing. Don't you worry about a thing. I've got this feeling in my body. I might buy a diamond ring. Baby, take me away. Take me away.
Crushed it. Yeah. We can do
Yeah. Those eyes, I can't take it. I'm about to sell my soul. Take me away. Take me away. Take me away. Baby, let's make me wanna play.
So back in 2017, Nick said to Mom and I'd really like to bring Molly, if that's possible. And Danielle and I looked at each other like, well, our family vacations are usually, you know, pretty family oriented. And so we kind of looked at Nick and we're like, okay. Unbeknownst to us, we're taking pictures and Molly would jump up, let me take a picture of you. Let me take a picture of your family. And all of a sudden we're like, no, Molly, we're gonna get the waitress to take a picture of us. We found out later is she's sliding in on the end, which we didn't even notice, so she could be photoshopped out if it didn't work out.
When my wife and I heard Nick was going to go to High Point University, we told Tim to let Nick know if he ever needed anything, just give us a call. We were there for him. Well, 4 years went by, no call. Which was good for several reasons. Number one, it saved me a lot of money not having to buy dinner for he and his friends or bailing him out of jail. Nick was then and is now a very independent individual. And Stuart and I would like to wish them and his beautiful bride-to-be much happiness and a long life together. Oh, and by the way, great Uncle Tommy sounds really good. I'm not getting any younger.
So fast forward, here we are, almost 6 years later, 5 years, 6 years later, and we don't let her stand on the end anymore. And here's to a long life filled with love, laughter, happiness, and good health.
She looks like honey taste. The kind of honey you try to save. She sounds just like that way. Music sounds when it first starts to play.
Friends and family, we're gathered here today to celebrate the marriage of Nick and Molly. As we hear their vows and help them usher in this new chapter in their shared lives, let us recall and cherish the joys and love each of us has known.
I love how adventurous you are, constantly stretching my somewhat previous bland diet to try many worldwide cuisines. Your willingness to say yes to that one extra activity before sunset, or willingness to go out and purchase brand new gear for the next hobby that catches my attention.
I found myself someone who always says yes. Your spirit for adventure is exhilarating. You've opened my eyes to so many possibilities, and you've challenged and encouraged me to become the best version of myself. Life is so much better when you're around.
like Johnny loved you. I think I'm gonna need her like the sea needs the moon. I think I'm gonna love her.
I promise that I will continue to be your #1 advocate and supporter. I vow never to go to bed in an argument and to always communicate any and all challenges that are presented to us. I pledge to continue to love you for who you are and who you continue to evolve to be, and I look forward to experiencing a life filled with endless adventures together.
I vow to stand by you in life's wonderful moments, and when life's moments are difficult. I promise to love you, support you, and cherish all of your hobbies. At any cost. And I pledge to be the best wife, friend, partner, and family member to you. I love you endlessly, Molly.
Nick and Molly, before these witnesses, you've pledged your love and commitment to each other. So now, by the power vested in me by the state of Vermont, it is my great honor and pleasure to pronounce you husband and wife. Nick, you may now kiss your bride. Friends and family, for the first time, I want to present Nick and Molly as husband and wife.
So Nick is quite the planner, and Terry and I were visiting Molly and Nick in Dallas a couple years ago, and Nick planned a round of golf at the Cowboy Club. And on the 4th hole, which is their signature hole, I said, "Go ahead, Nick, go ahead and hit your shot." So Nick hits this big old cut, and he puts it right in the center of the logo. I get up, and I freaking duck hook it left, OB. So I'm all about the golf game, and I'm so mad at myself because I hit it out of bounds. And Nick says, "Hey, Mike and Terry, I've got something I'd like to ask you guys." So he goes, "I want to ask you for your permission, your blessing, to ask Molly to be my bride." Well, that was the happiest moment of our lives. After the hugs and the kisses and the hugs and the laughter and all that, he turns to me and he goes, "You know, you're lying 3. You might want to re-hit." So I will always remember the Cowboy Golf Club signature par 4 hole, making an 8. And the fact that Nick asked for Molly's hand in marriage. Nick, welcome to the family.
Molly, or Sissy, as I like to call you when we were growing up, I have loved you from the very start, on what many would say is the second best day of your life, the day I was born. I loved you when you arrived at the hospital with my first stuffed animal in hand. I loved you when we played dress up. I loved you during countless musical performances on the basement main stage. Molly, I have always loved you, and I always will. And now you have Nick.
But just as I've always looked up to Nick, in the first few years of knowing Molly, I've really quickly began to do the same. Cheers to Nick and Molly having a long, happy marriage together while keeping all of us in their close circle as they grow. Cheers.
Molly, 29 years ago, you changed my life and Mom's life forever. And those of you who are parents, you know that words can't describe what it means to hold your firstborn child. And shortly after Terry gave birth to Molly, there were some issues and the doctors and nurses needed to tend to Terry. And so Molly was handed to me. And they were working on Terry for about 20 minutes. And Molly was so small, she grabs a hold of my pinky with this little hand. I realized that 3 things happened in those 20 minutes. First, I fell in love with you. Second, you fell in love with me. And third, I knew that at some point in the future, Molly would let go of my hand and take the hand of another. That day is today, and I couldn't be happier for you, Molly. Love you so much.
Yeah.